Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears, as we sit right now, 3.5 in favor of the Packers, 44.5 is your total. Guys, this is looking like the Bears are going to commit organizational malpractice and run Justin Fields out there, even though the season is over and he has a shoulder injury. And the reason that this team got much better is because he was running the ball, using his legs. And when you run the ball, you get tackled and you land on your dadgum shoulders and stuff. So anyhow, that's neither here nor there. Aaron Rodgers says he's going to play as well, Steven. So now we see this number sitting, this was sitting 4.5 in favor of the Packers, now down to, like I said, there's an expensive 3 out there. There's a juicy 3, and there's a bunch of 3.5s.
Yeah, so I'm operating under the notion that Justin Fields is healthy enough to run the offense we've seen from the Chicago Bears. He was a full participant in practice, and that to me gives Chicago the best chance to beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers than we've seen in a long time. The only stats I care about with the Chicago offense are the week 7 to week 11 window, where they changed the offense, went more with a single wing, old school running style offense where the quarterback is taking direct snaps and running with the ball, and don't care about anything before then. Don't care about the Trevor Siemian week. You have to look at that window to what this Bears offense is at this point. And when they're utilizing Fields as a rusher, they have been very strong. And we're looking at a Packers defense that has failed miserably to stop the run. They're bottom of the barrel in that regard. And that's when they're facing running offenses where the quarterback is just handing the ball off and they have numbers. It's 11 on 10 at that point because the quarterback's not in on the play. Now you have a big, strong quarterback running and it's even numbers and you're getting better numbers in the blocking game for this offense. So if the Packers gave up more than 8 yards per carry to the Eagles last week, I think Fields can do damage as a rusher here with this new style offense that they've been putting out. So with that being said, the Chicago defense is still brutal. They are terrible.
Worst in the league. Worse than the Texans. We're at this point worse than the Texans.
Yeah. So even though the Packers offense has struggled a bit, this is not the matchup that can take advantage of that. So the thing I'm most confident in here with Fields back in play is the Chicago Bears team total in this game. And there's some wacky numbers out there. It's almost like these aren't adjusting with the line movement overall that comes with it. So I've seen Chicago team total over 20.5 at plus money, which I think is good. And I've seen a book still keep 17.5 out there, but with a lot of juice at minus 160. That one's at BetMGM. So shop around a little bit, but I think anything under 21 here at minus 110, if that's the number, is fine with me. And if you want to take a little lower number, that's with more juice, that's fine too. But 21 would be the stopping point for me. But I like the Bears to go over this total.
Adam, you do some traditional sports talk radio, and so indulge me 15 seconds here. Both of these teams are doing organizational malpractice by starting these quarterbacks. Like Justin Fields is the future of your organization, and running him out there in a season that's dead when all he can do is basically injure himself further is organizational malpractice. And then Aaron Rodgers with multiple injuries should not be starting either in a dead season for multiple things as well. It behooves them to lose games moving forward. 2, if you decide you want Aaron Rodgers back as your quarterback next year, you might as well try and keep him as healthy as possible and not run him out there and have him get more injured. Or if you're going to move away from Aaron Rodgers in the offseason, then you need to get Jordan Love some reps. It's crazy. Both of these teams are committing organizational malpractice and all of this, but neither here nor there. I guess if we're going to get Rodgers and we're going to get Fields, is 44.5 too low? Because we know that this Bears defense is ridiculously terrible, and the Packers defense has not been anything close to what we thought it was going to be.
No, this game puts all of the variance into play. It's a pass for me because of that. Is Rodgers going to play the whole game? Is Fields going to play the whole game? What can they do if they can play? There's way, way too much for me to try to figure out to get involved in this. But I'll say this much about the Green Bay Packers in particular. For any way in which we've clowned Jordan Love over the last few years, if you watch the couple of drives that Jordan Love had and just the balls that he was putting out there to his receivers, Jordan Love might have something figured out. It's at least enough that the Green Bay Packers should want to see more and have the perfect opportunity to see more, at least for 1 week, to say to Aaron Rodgers, hey, you know what? Just give it one more week to get healthy again. But look, it was clear in the contract situation last year, and it's clear now that Aaron Rodgers is running the Green Bay Packers in terms of whether or not he goes out there. They're not telling him whether or not he plays. Aaron Rodgers is telling them whether he plays. So I won't add more. I don't need to. For me, I'm passing.
Yeah. If a flat 44 showed back up, which I don't think it will at this point, I'd probably come in on the over. 44 being a pretty key number when it comes to totals. Really, I only pay attention to 44 and 51, 47 to a lesser extent. So 44 and a half is pretty big for me if I want to play an over. So I don't think that I'm going to be looking at it there. If a flat 44 did show back up, I think I would be looking at that. I mean, if both guys are going to get out there, there's going to be points scored in this game. So that's kind of the look for me in this one.